This is the easiest way to get your message out and start making sales. Grew about 35% since we started using Growbots, which was absolutely huge for us. We are actually looking to hire now. Do it with the concierge service, learn what you need to learn, go to self-service, and when that slows down, go back to concierge service. It's a no-brainer. But as far as understanding how to schedule, when to schedule the follow-ups, how to understand what's coming in, understanding the Gmail, those were things that people do for a career. I tried for about 2 weeks, and it was just I found myself distracted from running the business to trying to do it on my own while running the business, and it became too much or too ineffective. And my thought process was I didn't want to ruin the leads that I did have by sending them an ineffective campaign. Yeah, exactly. When you're, the CEO, you're managing the project, the operations, the sales, the marketing, every aspect of your business, and then you're trying to bring in more sales. Uh, and there's only so many hours in the day. I started looking at how to do email campaigns by myself, and so I got with the CRM, and I got with a prospecting database, and I was going through it just kind of manually. But as far as understanding how to schedule, when to schedule the follow-ups, how to understand what's coming in, understanding the Gmail warm-ups, and actually getting reputation behind your emails. Those were things that people do for a career, and completely, they have decades of experience in sales as they're doing it. And me going from running a side hustle and managing all aspects of the side hustle into growing it into an actual business where I can support my family and contribute to my local community. I just didn't understand how to get there. And I didn't understand all of the nuances behind outbound sales. So my introduction to Growbots not only helped me just get in the door and flatten that learning curve, but it really helped me understand the process through and through. Having an expert with, with the concierge service of just help guide me, walk me through that process it went from doing no outbound sales to actually making sales within 3 months using the campaign. Yeah, really, it was the startup. So having never really gone and done any outbound sales and understanding the nuances and what you're trying to achieve, how to A and B test, how to message appropriately, going from a really long email of this is who you are and the services you offer to very short and concise emails, and kind of where those hooks are in getting the interest to then have the follow-on conversation. Those are things that you learn over time of doing it. And once I was educated on the process to implement and how to do it, and then we through the concierge service of building the A and B testing, build the pattern of kind of what to do and how to do, I was able to time block that into my schedule of what I can do after the fact. So when I went into self-service, it was a lot easier to where I wasn't necessarily building it all the time. I was just maintaining it. And so it's really easy to, qualify leads and set up meetings and follow on meetings and close the deal than it is to get that entire process set up from the get-go. During that first 3 months, I had, Growbots really helped me understand the process and write the copy. And we we had a very good campaign setup that was getting really good results. And I felt comfortable running and managing it by myself. And that ran really strong for about 9 months. When I started to see it slow down was when I started to get a little worried, and maybe I wanted to adjust or tweak either the copy of the message or maybe a different target uh, within my niche industry. And so I, again, just to kind of expedite the timeline of how to A and B test that was why I went back to concierge service for a month. We got it dialed in, and then back to self service. So the thought crossed our mind, but we're a small business that's growing, and we're when you're trying to decide who to hire and what to hire them for, it becomes really uh, it becomes complicated in the sense of like I need assistance in the operations, but I also need sales to build more operations, and I need marketing to get our name out there. And so when you're trying to decide all of those, I felt that I was savvy enough and um, and that I was confident enough to where if I had somebody just show me the way that I could handle it myself. Now, I think that I was really successful at implementing that. And at a certain point in time, we started to get too much work where we couldn't keep up. And so I was happy that right at about that 7 month time where this campaign started to slow down. Yeah, that's right. I own two businesses, and we've used it for both, and we've experienced significant growth in both. In my primary business, Sway Collective, uh, we we grew about 35% since we started using Growbots, which was absolutely huge for us. And then my other company, Bulldog, which is a startup, and we started using Growbots right out of the gate, and we were able to achieve a couple 100,000 in sales just using Growbots. We're up in total revenue of 35% on the year. Um, the beautiful thing about that is that we, the clients that we were able to get from Growbots, um, are much bigger than the clients we had. And so the full value of the acquisition of those clients has not been fully realized. I was really happy to stick it out because we didn't get our first conversion until month 4. And but once we did, we got one, and then we got two, and then we got five, and then we got 10, and then it just kept going and going. And every month we were able to convert another handful. And they weren't just one time deals, they were the beginning of a long term relationship with every client that we've acquired so far. I did my best to listen to the advice of this is not a quick solution, and it's a long term, it's a long game that we're playing. And so I wasn't discouraged because I saw the warm emails come in. I saw the positive response come in. It just the sales cycle at that point in time, and that month 4 was around Christmas time. So I knew the sales cycle was going to be a little um, elongated during that period of time, and I was okay with it. But right after Christmas, into the new year, new budgets were hitting, new conferences were inbound, and the sales cycle just started to pick up. I had a general idea of my ICP, but understanding the value of really knowing your ideal client was something that I greatly overlooked in my business beforehand. So getting to know that customer all the way down to who they are, the car they drive, where they're located, what they look like, when I was able to drill down to that level of who do I want this email to go to? And then I was able to speak to them better. And I had a lot more success when we were able to narrow it down uh, to a really um, to a fine granularity level. Turning those no's, or those understanding the difference between a no, never going to happen, and a no, not right now, they're very different, right? And every business every business out there has a different time where they buy and where they don't buy. And what I started to realize was that time that we were experiencing a really low conversion rate, it's the natural time where that industry is not buying things. So we were kind of alarmed, but we really, through reaching out to the many companies, found out that it's just not the time, and we needed to schedule those people um, in another month. We'll reach out to those people a month or two later when it is back into that buying season. What I would say to any small business who's looking to do outbound sales, this is the fastest way to flatten the learning curve, the easiest way to get your message out and start making sales. And it's a hands down, do it. Do it with the concierge service. Learn what you need to learn. Go to self-service. And when that slows down, go back to concierge service. It's a no-brainer.